Hey y'all, it's Kasia, and today I'm going to be showing y'all how to do a closure sewing with no elastic band using this curly hair. It was a 20, 18, 16, and 14-inch closure. I don't know where it came from. I'm so sorry, y'all. As soon as I figure it out, I'm gonna put everything in the description bar below. Y'all already know. This is a basic braid pattern. I really wasn't even going to put this in the video, but I figured y'all might want to see it. I actually have a video on how to do it already, so I'm really not going to go into detail on what I do. I just pretty much part down the middle and braid down, and I kind of adjust the braid pattern for each client, but it's pretty much the same concept. But what we're going to do is go ahead and put the closure on. And this, if you saw the last tutorial, it's going to be pretty much exactly the same. Only difference is I'm not going to put on the elastic band. So I'm just going to start in the middle back and sew down to the right, and then I'm going to start back in the middle and sew down to the left. But like I said before, I'm going to be sewing on the sides of the braids and not necessarily on the actual braid itself. Only in the front will I sew on the actual braid, because I don't want to sew too tight. Like, I don't want to pull out, anybody's edges or whatever. So what I'm doing is I'm pretty much double knotting it. And also, I want you to note that since I'm not using an elastic band, I am using nylon thread. It's a thinner thread, which is going to help the closure to lay a little bit flatter, considering that we don't have the extra support from the elastic band. But make sure that y'all always, after a few stitches, going back and checking and making sure that your closure is still in the middle and still right on track. You don't want it to shift and slide over. So yeah, just keep on sewing. Take your time. Don't pull too tight, especially with this nylon thread, because it is so thin. You don't want to snag or pull anyone's hair out. So just be very careful with that. Also, it is a little bit hard to sew with, so you might notice that I'm sewing a little bit slower than normal. But yeah, just sew it all the way down. And once you get to the edge, I'll show y'all what I do next. Okay, so now that I've gotten to the edge, I'm just going to go ahead and tie off the end. As you're going to notice, there's a little bit of the closure that is still hanging over, and that is okay. That's really actually kind of a good thing, because that's what I'm going to use to show y'all how I do it without having an elastic band. Some people won't have the extra flap that folds over. It just all depends on how the person's hairline is, because as you know, closures are straight across in the front, and everybody's hairline isn't straight across in the front. Some people's is, some people's isn't. So it's just gonna depend on if your hairline is straight across or not, and hers is not. So she's gonna have a little bit of extra lace overlapping in the front. So I'm just gonna be sewing underneath the closure, sewing her front braid to the closure. This is the same exact steps that I did in the last tutorial, but this is where the difference is going to be coming in right after I tie this little section off. I'm going to tie that off, and then I'm going to go back to the close to the middle part where the closure is, and I'm going to, well, actually, I forgot. I'm actually starting from the end. I'm taking the edge and I'm going to anchor that to this first braid right here, and I'm going back and forth. Please note that I am not pulling on that tight. You do not want that to be tight. You just want it to literally hold the closure down in place. You do not want it to be tight, because if it is tight, it will pull out your client's edges. You don't want it to be tight at all. Please do not make this part tight. just enough support so that it can lay flat. Then I'm going to go ahead and put small stitches along the edge of the front part of the closure. And don't worry, y'all, you're not going to be able to see this at all, and hence why we use the nylon thread. So we're going to put anchoring stitches along the front. Once you get close to the middle part, you're going to start going back in the opposite direction. As you can see, it's already starting to lay flat. So you're just going to keep going back down, and then you're going to do one more anchoring stitch, and then you're going to tie that off. And as you can see, it is laying flat, hunty. It is laying flat. Okay, so it's one thing about this. You're going to have to do maintenances on this, because since you don't have an elastic band, the closure is going to grow out when your hair grows out. So as your sewing is getting loose, the closure is going to be getting loose as well. The difference with the elastic band is an elastic band stays stretchy. So as your hair is growing out, the elastic band is still holding on tight. So when you do this, your hair is growing out and your closure is growing out as well. So you will have to do maintenances with this, but as I said before, it's really client preference, and you don't have to, you know, some people use glue. I personally don't use glue. I only use glue for my frontals, but it just all depends on what works for you. I suggest that, you know, you guys try either method, or even try different methods. You know, you never know what might work for you, and some things work and some things don't. And then also it depends on the client, because some clients don't like elastic bands. Some clients don't like only sewing. So you know what I'm saying? Some clients don't even like closures. They like leave out. So it's just you doing what you feel like works best for you and also for your client. So I hope that this tutorial was really helpful to y'all, and that y'all, you know, that it was useful. And I hope that y'all enjoy. Y'all did request that I do this video after I had did the last one. So yeah, stay tuned for new videos coming soon. And as soon as I find out what hair company the hair came from, I'm definitely going to put that in the description bar below. Unfortunately, I received the hair without any packaging labels. It was only the hair inside of the UPS bag and with the lengths on it. It didn't have any type of name or anything. So I'm reaching out to the companies that I was communicating with and trying to figure out where the hair came from, because the hair was super pretty. So I definitely want y'all to be able to, you know, check them out. But as soon as I find out, I will definitely put it in the description bar below. So be checking back if you are interested in this hair, because I will be putting it in the description bar shortly. Hey y'all, it's Keisha, and today I'm going to be showing y'all how to do a closure sewing with no elastic band using this curly hair. It was a 20, 18, 16, and 14 inch closure. I don't know where it came from. I'm so sorry, y'all. As soon as I figure it out, I'm gonna put everything in the description bar below. Y'all already know. This is a basic braid pattern. I really wasn't even going to put this in the video, but I figured y'all might want to see it. I actually have a video on how to do it already, so I'm really not going to go into detail on what I do. I just pretty much part down the middle and braid down, and I kind of adjust the braid pattern for each client, but it's pretty much the same concept. But what we're going to do is go ahead and put the closure on. And if you saw the last tutorial, it's going to be pretty much exactly the same. Only difference is I'm not going to put on the elastic band. So I'm just going to start in the middle back and sew down